All right. So also we look at it's also there's a place for romantic intimacy, right? So that's another place where we'll feel our tank in relationship. If you're married or you're dating, you know, that also generally speaking, if you have to interact with the opposite sex, if as long as you don't cross the boundary, but that fills you up also, someone would say, and I believe, the sexual energy, is probably one of the highest form of energy, and it's not one to be dissipated, by being promiscuous, but it's one that you can contain, by discipline and self-respect, and when you contain it, it makes every part of your life and such that you can use it for a productive good use, right? But that's reality. We're sexual beings also. And that also affects our social interaction, but not for us to be indisciplined, not for us to be controlled by it, but that we control it and use it for good, right? You can be attracted to somebody, doesn't mean that you should then go do indecent things, right? You can control yourself, curtail yourself. That's the whole idea of we calling some people ladies and gentlemen, not people that are dressing like prostitutes, or people of light virtue, that those aren't ladies, right? A lady is one who's able to curtail herself, right? A gentleman is one who's able to hold himself together, right? He's not running after everything in skirt. He's not all torn apart just because he sees skirt, right? But even though you are alive, you're able to still put it under control and be ordered in your steps and in your interaction. You're able to respect the woman that you're interacting with, and you don't be enslaved by your emotions, right? But in a marriage situation, there are also its own boundary, right? But that having people in your life, that you are emotionally connected with, also fills your tank, right? That's also important. Also, generally, people that can help us with information, contact, I needed to get my transcript from Unilag, and the online version is not working for me. I know someone would know someone. I can make a call, get things done, that cannot be done ordinarily. Instead of me having to go all the way to the school, I can get it done. Need a transcript from my first degree, have my friends who are lecturers. I can just sit down in my home and get it done. That helps you. That fills your tank. I need to go to my farm. I have a friend who doesn't mind, driving with me down. That fills your tank. So you need people like that in your life, right? You need people that also are fun people. When it's time to have fun, maybe to exercise, to jog, to play. People also that maybe for relaxation. The other day went to the movie to go and watch a movie. But all of those are different areas, different ways in which we have social interaction in our social universe. And these are the things that fill us up. These are the things we should gravitate towards. Obviously, all of these have negative side to them, but we're looking for the positive sides to them. And that's how we become better persons, and get the blessing of relationship, right? So, uh, I'm going to close here. We're looking at different ways in which we can improve, our social interactions. I mean, these are things we desire, but one way we can, move, from make better our social interaction in our social universe. Uh, Different ways are put in the book. One of it says the power of generosity, right? And when you talk about generosity, it's pretty much a place where we'll say the scriptures would say that he that wants friends must show himself friendly. It's a universal law of giving and receiving. Everything you want in your social universe, you have to give it first of all, right? That's the way you sow to guarantee what you receive. You don't make friends by praying about it. You don't make friends by going to beg everybody to be your friend. You don't make friends by fasting and praying, right? You make friends by being a friend, right? Being a friend, stepping out of your comfort zone to be a friend, right? And you don't have to rush it because you can overload people. Just be a friend. Be nice to somebody, right? That's the way you do it. Be nice in small increments. Don't overload it. If you overload it, people will run away from you because we're every real person, there's only so much they can take of your niceness. If you overdo it, people will run away from you, but if you do it in small increments, right, you can make friends easily, and that's one of the things we talk about, in making changes. It's easier to make changes when you do it in small increments, right? We'll call it, what's the word for it? It's uh something reading. What's that word for it? Um, all right, it's not coming to me right now. If it does, I'll let you know. But but that's the best way to do any changes. You do it in small increments, because if you do big increments, your subconsciousness will riot, because they were not used to this. We've not been doing this before. The way to trick your subconsciousness and also trick the consciousness of the person you're trying to interact with is to do it in little incremental steps, right? So that the person can get adjusted to it. The person's consciousness and unconsciousness can get adjusted to it, right? So yeah, if you want friends, you need to be a friend, but be a friend in little increments. Don't overdo it, because you might drive people away in doing that, but you gotta sow what you want back. If you want people that are going to be friends, and friends in different areas, we've highlighted different areas of interaction, whether it's in terms of getting information, relaxation, having fun, helping you in one form or the other. Just be that for somebody, right? When you be that for somebody, it will come back to you, right? The law of the universe is that when you give, you shall be given, right? It might not come immediately, but once you put that seed in the ground, you will get a harvest, right? But have patience for when that harvest will come. Don't rush it. Again, the way you sow is small increment. Then you gotta have patience, for to get the returns. But it's generosity. That's one of the ways in which you're going to improve your social interaction and get your social fitness in your social universe, right? Give that which you expect back, right? And the other part of it is also being willing to do things you're not comfortable with, things you don't normally do. I remember this years ago. Again, I say all the time that I grew up as a shy person. Nobody believes that today, Said it to one of my bros the other day and said, no, it's not possible. You can be. Because she sees me today and she can't just put the two together. But I wasn't born this way. I've not always been this way. Someone is going to be looking in front of the camera and spending this time with you, sharing the way I'm sharing with you. I wasn't born this way. This is not the way I was born. I wasn't like this years ago, right? And I started doing all of this YouTube stuff 2021. So barely 2 years ago. I'm in my third year doing it. Right, February 2021, I started doing this. I'm much better than when I started. But this is not my comfort zone. I am a private person. I'm not one that's a public person who's gonna come and be doing all of this. But today I look like a public person because I've learned the skill of doing it. But I've learned it by doing it. And I'm getting better every day. Right? I'm getting better every day. I remember years ago at my job, we need to give reports, and it was big step change for me. And I just come and it's like, it was like a heart of body experience, just reading things out, not coordinated. I wasn't in the moment like I am here right now. I'm in a moment. I'm looking at you straight in the face, looking straight into the camera, and I'm talking. This wasn't me. But you see, I've become this by practice because I do this and do this over and over again. I've become this by practice, right? And that's one of the things you can do. There's something that's holding you back, from better social interaction. Begin to take small baby step, incremental steps in that direction, away from where you used to be to where you need to be. Don't take big steps because you can hurt yourself, right? But take small steps. Take baby steps towards where you want to be, right? Take baby steps towards where you want to be, and you'll be surprised where you'll get to. You'll just be like me, right? And better than me, right? So that's one way you can help, become better. You can become more fit socially and increase what you get from your social universe, right? Another way you can get better in your social universe is what we call radical curiosity, or practicing radical curiosity. Reason why most people don't have friends is because they are too focused on themselves. They're too focused on what they want to get. But that's counter to the way to make friendship, because everybody's selfish. People will gravitate towards you if you are interested in them, not in yourself. If all I come here to do is tell you about me, you'll probably be turned off, right? But if I'm here telling you things that can help you make your life better, you'll probably be attracted. If I can tell you something that kind of fits with who you are, kind of fits where you are, you'll probably be interested or attract you, right? If we can just be curious about other people, be interested in their life, be interested in what is going on in their life, rather than telling everybody what's going on in your life, you will have more friends, right? People, you don't have to tell everybody, oh, I'm having problems. Oh, I'm sad. Oh, this is what's going into my life. Great. You will get your time to do that. But first, ask them what's going on in their own life. Be interested in what is going on in their life. They want to share to someone. If you can be interested and spend time to hear from them, they will give you time for you to speak yours also. And therefore, you will have interaction. You have what we call social intercourse. Social intercourse takes place before you can receive, right? So, yeah. So it's been into, and it's the third habit of Stephen Covey's 7 habits of highly effective people says seek first to understand before you seek to be understood. Seek first to understand where that person is. Seek first to meet that person where that person is before you bring that person to where you are. That is what it takes to make friends. You have to appreciate where the other person is before you expect and them to understand where you are, right? So that helps also you getting better in your social fitness, right? And the other way thing that we do is if we communicate our understanding back to the person. So it's one thing to listen to somebody, it's another thing to feedback what you're hearing to that person. It's because that person needs to get that feeling that you are hearing him or her, right? To hear someone is to see that person, right? When someone is trying to communicate, they are trying to be seen. It helps if you can show them or let them know that you are seeing them, you are understanding what they are saying. So that's what you get when you feedback what you are hearing to them. When you do that, you give them a sense that you are seeing them. You give them a sense that they are visible. and when they are visible, they want to be with you. It becomes a social environment where they want to be. Therefore, they would almost like serve you because you have created a place for them to be. Thanks, happiness. Thanks, happy. Uh, I see you come along. Thanks. So it becomes a place that they want to be. Therefore, it creates a place where you can be. But first, they have to know that you are seeing them. And that's what happens when you feed back to people what you understand of what they are telling you or what they are saying, right? And lastly, it's a place where we can do a regular checkup on our relationships, right? You know, about relationships, you can check on and do something about the ones you want to improve, do something about the ones you want to let go, you know, uh, but be sure that you are not taking for granted the important ones, because if you don't feed them, they will not grow. If a relationship is important to you, feeds you, and you're not taking good care of it, it might not be there for you when you need it. So every once in a while we can do a check on where we stand, where the relationships in our life stand, where the people in our social universe stand, and we can make it better. So that's really the end of chapter 4 of our book, talking about social fitness. So that's where I'm going to end for today. So next week, we're going into chapter 5, which is attention to relationships. And we'll be talking about the use of our time, the use of our attention, and how that matters in our relationships, in a way would also help our social fitness, help our being able to harness the fullness of our social universe. All right. Until then, have a good week ahead and see you next Sunday, God willing. God bless you. Bless you. See you next month, next Sunday. Bye-bye.